Welcome back to the channel. Side Hustle Cinema here, and it's another Blues Day Tuesday, but this isn't your normal see you next Tuesday physical media report. Today is going to be different. Today we're going to do a year in review and award ceremony. Today we're going to be celebrating all the physical media, all the movies that came out this year. We're not going to be talking about movies that are still in theaters. So there won't be any awards for Spider-Man, at least not this year, or Ghostbusters. And we're not talking about streaming, so no Power of the Dog. Maybe if Criterion puts it out next year, we can talk about it. This video is going to be all about the movies that were released in 2021. And we're going to talk about some of my favorites. We're going to talk about some of my least favorites. And next week, we will be back to our normal video when we take a look at everything that comes out when I see you next Tuesday. Well, 2021 actually got off to a slow start. You know, we had the pandemic still, going on pretty strong. Vaccines were just starting to roll out. No one was going to the theaters. Movies weren't out in theaters, so we weren't getting any new releases. It was pretty much all catalog titles. And this year was pretty big for catalog titles. There was quite a bit that, was first time on Blu-ray, first time on 4K. But even the companies that do those restorations, they were shut down for a while too. So, physical media in general was kind of slow at the beginning of the year. But things ramped up pretty quickly. I, of course, started my channel this year. Started it, I think it was July 19th. So I'm getting close to that 6-month mark, and I was able to cover at least half the year. This year was big for Blu-ray sales, for 4K sales. A lot of people purchased physical media during the pandemic. Sales were up considerably. Boutique titles were really kind of dominant this year. I mean, a lot of, probably more so than the studio titles. We just have so many boutique labels out there that are doing, such really good work. And of course this year, more boutique labels got into 4K media than in years past. We had Kino Lorber putting out 4K titles. We had Criterion getting into 4K titles. You had Arrow and Vinegar Syndrome doing 4K titles. We had Synapse doing 4K titles. And of course Scream Factory. But every time there's a little bit of good, there's always going to be some bad. We've had a lot of disc issues this year. I know myself, I've taken part in, I think, 4 disc replacement programs. So it hasn't been all perfect. And this year there's been a lot of delays in the shipping. Scream Factory had sort of a botched rollout for their Halloween movies, and those were some of the most anticipated movies of the year. We had the Mad Max movies with sound issues. Citizen Kane, one of the first 4Ks to come out from Criterion, it had issues. Kino Lorber had issues with Hard Target. Well Go USA had problems with their Phantasms 1 and 2. So we had a lot more, bumps in the road than usual. I've actually never experienced anything like what we had this year. I'm not sure how much of that's because of the pandemic, or maybe there were other factors, but, I hope that these things kind of get cleared up, and I hope that 2022 gives us a lot less issues with shipping and disc problems. Shipping, I know they can't help as much, but the disc problems, they should be able to fix that. I mean, that's kind of on them. Now I'd like to do an award for Best Atmos Track of the Year, and the nominees are A Quiet Place 2, Godzilla vs. Kong, Monster Hunter. All 3 of these movies are really amazing Atmos tracks, all demo worthy. But for me, there was one that stood out just a tiny bit more, and I mean a tiny bit more than the others. And for me, that one is Monster Hunter. I've been touting this movie all year long. I've shown this movie off to so many people. Anyone who comes and checks out my theater room, this is usually my go-to reference disc. It looks amazing, but it also sounds amazing. It was really the best Atmos experience that I had this year. So much activity in all the speakers. The height speakers are going nuts. The bass is booming. It is a fantastic, fantastic sounding movie. Even though the movie itself was just okay, it's not a horrible, movie. But when it sounds this good, it definitely raises the bar on the movie, in general. But that's what a good sound system will do for you. It makes average movies above average. Monster Hunter was my winner for Best Atmos Mix of the Year. The next award is going to be for my favorite 4K transfer for video. We did audio with the Atmos mix. Now let's talk about the video. What movie out there looked the best this year? This one might be a little bit controversial, but we all have our different opinions, and this one's mine. When I saw the winner of this one, it just totally blew me away. And so let me give you the nominees for Best Picture. We have Misery, 4K edition from Kino Lorber. Mortal Kombat. And Elysium. These were some of my favorite 4K transfers of the year for video. All three for different reasons. They were all three really excellent, but for me, the winner is going to be Misery. Originally, I didn't even pick Misery up. I thought I was happy with my Scream Factory edition, and I was. It's a good edition on Scream Factory. Until I started seeing some comparison shots online, and it kind of blew me away. So I had to pick this one up. This one looks amazing. Kino Lorber got it perfect. On the picture. This one's a little bit controversial, I know, because it's not a big action movie. There's not tons of outdoor scenery. It mostly takes place inside of, this little cabin. But when they do show the outdoor scenes, it looks fantastic. And everything inside the cabin is like super detailed. And they really got the color, the skin tones, everything is just perfect. And if you thought that Scream Factory edition looked good, wait till you see this. It looks just that much better. I was really blown away by how good this looked. And honestly, I've really enjoyed most of Kino Lorber's 4K titles. If they would work on their audio and give us, some matching audio tracks to go with the picture, they would really be one of the best around, in my opinion. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. I know I've had a good time putting this one together. I've been thinking about it over the past few days. And I really wish I had a couple more weeks to, really put it together with a lot more production. But, this is what I came up with on short notice. I just kind of got the idea to do this video last week, so, I really didn't have it planned in advance. But if you are enjoying the video, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you're unsubscribed to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. I had a goal to be at 500 subscribers by 6 months, because I would like to hit 1,000 within the year. And so that 500 benchmark, it's there. I'm not sure if I'll hit it or not. I have until January 19th to see if I can try to hit that goal. So if you can help me out, if you're unsubscribed to the channel, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of content coming up. I got a lot of big plans for the new year, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. Well, anyway, back to the award show. So this next award is going to be for my favorite steelbook that came out this year. Now, I know a lot of you have some really awesome steelbooks. I've seen them in your videos. I'm not the biggest steelbook collector, so unfortunately I don't have like a bunch of the, really awesome, really cool steelbooks. But everyone collects different, I mean, some people collect more for packaging, others collect more for the movies, some people just like to collect everything. So I'm going to show you my 4 favorite steelbooks that I picked up this year, and I'll tell you which one is my overall favorite. The first one was that Scream steelbook. I really kind of like this one. I like that, the ghost face on the knife, and then on the back, do you like scary movies? I thought that was pretty cool. I definitely kind of dug this one. I like the glossy finish on there, although I do get some fingerprints on there. Next was a catalog title that came out and got a steel book. It's been on 4K for a while, but the steel book is new this year, and that was Backdraft. And I just absolutely loved that steel book. I mean, it came out with an awesome price too. It was only like $20, but literally this steel book was fire. Yeah, it's a great steel book. Good movie too. Next is My Bloody Valentine, the Scream Factory steelbook here. And of course this one was real popular. Came out in February, right around Valentine's Day. Great artwork on this one. And yeah, that was a real popular one, and it's still available, and it's only like $17 or $18. Something like that. Another one that's super affordable. This one was so much fun when it first came out. Everyone was showing this one off. It was in every Instagram post. A lot of people doing their videos. A lot of people putting, the slipcover over other movies. I even did it myself in one of my videos. I put it over the Child's Play steelbook. It was a lot of fun. And this one really kind of created a lot of buzz for, the Lionsgate steelbooks with these clear slipcovers. And I haven't picked up hardly any of them. I've only picked up a couple of them. Mostly because I'm just not double dipping, for the steelbook or for the packaging. But this one I didn't have in my collection, so I did pick this one up. And yeah, it's really cool. So which movie was my favorite steelbook of the year? Well, American Psycho probably had more buzz about it. Scream probably was anticipated maybe a little bit more than some of the others. But for me, the best steelbook of the year goes to My Bloody Valentine. I just love that artwork. I was kind of shocked to see, I mean, this is it's an old movie, from 1981, and to get a really awesome steelbook, I just would never really think that would happen. And so when this got a steelbook release, I mean, this was one of the most enjoyable watches I had this year. Loved the movie. Really loved this artwork. Great steelbook. Scream Factory killed it on this one. And it was my favorite of the year. I mean, but then again, I don't collect a lot of movies for packaging. So, I know I've seen some crazy lenticulars and some really awesome, steelbooks and Zavvi steelbooks and, all these imports and things like that a lot of you guys pick up, and that's awesome. But I just don't do that much in my collection. So let me know in the comments down below, what was your favorite steelbook of the year? So what was my worst pickup of the year? We all do blind buys sometimes, and they turn out to be a little bit disappointing. We've all picked up movies just because of the slipcover, and it ends up being, hot garbage. Or we've grabbed those Dollar Tree titles because, well, they're only $1. and they turn out to be, terrible, terrible movies. And I'm no different. I do pick up occasionally. I'll get some blind buys that, might look a little sketchy. And when I first started my channel, I decided to do a series. And it was going to be where I go to Walmart. I pick out one Walmart movie, from their wall of shame that they call their media section there. And, I pick out one of those gems, and I would take it home and review it. And hopefully, I would find some hidden treasures. That didn't happen. Instead, I had like one of the worst movie experiences I had all year. And because I was going to do a review on it, I was pretty much forced to sit there and watch the whole thing. And that movie was Sorority House. This was god awful. This movie was absolutely terrible. I wanted to cut it off so bad, and it essentially killed that series. I didn't do another Walmart pick up and review video again. I don't know if I'll ever go back and do those. Such a disappointment. It was really work to do a review on this movie. And of course I don't have this on my shelf. I had to go and find where I threw this thing. It's like it was in the corner, of a closet or something. I had to go and find it. Because this thing's probably just going in the trash, let's be honest. That's where it belongs. We all make mistakes. Let me know in the comments, what was your worst pickup of the year? Probably my favorite packaging for an individual release this year. That award's going to go to Tix. Of course, I did a complete unboxing and 4K review of this movie, but you had this nice slip box that came with it. It got its own slip cover. It had reversible cover art and disc art. I was absolutely blown away by the packaging on Tix. I was kind of blown away that Tix came out on 4K. Would have never have guessed that. I mean, this movie didn't even get a theatrical release. But I saw it when it first came out, and I was a big fan of the movie, and it was one of those that I was just super thrilled and very surprised when it was announced. And it was one of my favorite pickups of the year. And now it's time to give my award for my favorite box set of the year. There was a lot to choose from. There was some pretty cool stuff that came out this year. We had the big Middle Earth set. We had Indiana Jones. We had the Karate Kid. We had the Underworld box set. All those were great, but probably my favorite box set of the year is going to go to the Columbia Classics Volume 2. When it comes to all things considered, packaging, the movies that you actually get for it, the value of it, and I think this thing will probably sell out soon. And the value will just go up after that. So if you haven't picked it up yet, go ahead and pick it up. This set's kind of amazing. So now let's get on to the finale, the main event. I'm going to give you my top 10 physical media releases this year. And this list, it's not the best transfers. It's not necessarily the best audio. It's not the best packaging or special features. It's kind of a mixture of a little bit of everything. It really comes down to how much I like the movie, to be honest with you. I'm kind of movie first, packaging second, kind of a distant second. And I'm not really all that big into special features and things like that either, but for me it's more about the movie, the audio, the video. But anyway, these are my top 10 lists, and it's going to be way different than yours. So if you want to leave your list in the comments, that's cool. If you want to make fun of my list, I guess that's fine too, but it is my list. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but you can do what you want. I don't really care that much. I mean, interaction's interaction. So I'm going to start off with a couple of honorable mentions that almost made my list for favorite physical media releases of the year. And just outside the top 10 was Shawshank Redemption. I was super excited for this one to come out. I picked it up day one, and it lived up to the expectations. It was fantastic. My next one just outside the top 10 was Animal House. I'm a huge fan of Lampoon's movies, especially the early stuff, and I'm a big fan of Animal House. It's one of my favorite comedies. Super excited when it came to 4K. I love the slipcover on this one. I love the cartoony artwork on there. Fantastic movie. It's a little bit politically incorrect, but it's funny. And it was just outside my top 10. So here we go, number 10. We've got Speed. Great movie. This was a great transfer, great audio, and I couldn't wait for this movie to come out on 4K. And next up is Demons 1 and 2 from Synapse. This is one of my favorite 4K releases of the year. It really came a long way. It's not going to beat out the newer movies, but it really came a long way. The improvement of the 4K over the Blu-rays is really significant. The artwork on this cover is awesome. I love this. This was a very cool package, very nice set. I'm glad they did 1 and 2. Synapse does a great job with their, movies. This 4K release is fantastic. Number 8. I put Ticks on here at number 8. It could have been higher. Catch me on another day and it could be much higher. I was super excited for this one to come out. I never would have thought it was going to come out. I just didn't think this movie would ever get a 4K release. Awesome, awesome movie. Well, we've already talked about it a lot. At number 7, The Forever Purge. This movie was kind of downed on by a lot of people who hadn't seen it yet. They were kind of just going off of that mob mentality that, the Purge isn't that good. The Purge isn't that good. Until they ended up watching the movie. And then people's attitudes kind of started to change a little bit, I noticed. This was a good movie. This was a very good movie. And the Purge series is awesome. Number 6. Nobody. I've been a big fan of this movie since it came out. I liked it a lot. I kind of went back and forth. Do I like it more than John Wick even? A lot of people compare it to John Wick. I can see the similarities. But you know what? John Wick's an awesome movie too. So, if it's kind of similar, I'm okay with that. This was a fantastic movie. I hope there's a sequel. But if there's not, I love this one. That's good enough for me. Number 5. Shang-Chi. I'd been kind of down on the Marvel series after Endgame. I just really haven't been into it. Shang-Chi kind of revived me a little bit. I love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. A lot of people are complaining about Awkwafina. I thought she was one of the best things about the movie. Of course, I haven't seen that Raya and the Last Dragon. A lot of people say that they can't get over her voice or something like that because I guess she was a voice in Raya and the Last Dragon. I don't know. I didn't see it. But I saw this, and I love this. Thought it was great. Number 4 on the list is Cop Shop. This was a movie that totally caught me by surprise. Didn't know much about it. Actually rented it on pay-per-view. Loved it so much, had to definitely go out and pick it up. Easily one of my favorite movies of the year. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should definitely check it out. Great movie. At number 3, The Thing. This movie was hugely anticipated. A lot of people couldn't wait to get their hands on it. I was actually able to get a hold of the steelbook. The transfer, the audio, the The video, they looked really good, especially the video. The audio was good, not great, but the video was excellent. And this movie's kind of timeless. I mean, it just never seems to get old. It doesn't seem to age. It always feels fresh. It always seems interesting to me. And as the years go on, it just keeps climbing up the list of my favorite movies. Love The Thing. Number 2, it's going to be on no one else's list. I know that. And that was Stripes. This was the whole reason why I got the Columbia Classics Volume 2. You know, a lot of people got it for Taxi Driver. A lot of people got it for Social Network. But for me, it was all about Stripes. I love this movie. Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, John Candy. I mean, super funny, super quotable. It's on 4K. It was the only way to get it. It really makes that set worth it to me. I mean, I would have definitely paid $30 for this one. Awesome movie. And number 1, my favorite release of the year. Well, you know, I pulled the old 5 movies as my number 1 deal. And that's because, you know, you can't really break up the set. It's the Halloween Scream Factory 1 through 5 on 4K. Everyone was talking about this all year long. I mean, as soon as it was announced, people went crazy for it. It was a lot of fun. Despite a horrible rollout, it was still kind of fun watching, you know, hearing people, you know, I got it here, I don't have it there. You know, I was one of the fortunate ones who, you know, got it from Amazon, and it ended up coming in pretty quickly. And so, you know, I was pretty fortunate. But I know others had trouble, and, you know, it adds to the story. You know, we'll all remember the bad rollout, but we'll all remember these movies. And hopefully we get the rest of the set in 4K. Maybe next year, maybe the year after, who knows. But at least we know that it's possible. Oh, yeah, these were absolutely fantastic. Loved them all. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. Next week we will be back to our regularly scheduled programming. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it was a little bit long. And until next time, stay safe, have fun, keep watching those movies, and I'll see you next Tuesday.